Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Hosea 14, Joel 1-3, Proverbs 31, and Psalm 6. Let's get started. And turn ears unto the Lord your God, for you stumble because of your iniquity. Take with you words and return to evil. And say to him, take away all iniquity, and set what is good, and we will pay with bulls the vows of our lips. Assyria shall not save us. We will not ride on horses, and we will say no more, our God, to the work of our hands. And you, the orphan finds mercy. I will heal their apostasy. I will love them freely, for my anger has turned from them. I will be like the dew to Israel. He shall blossom like the lily. He shall take root like the trees of Lebanon. His shoots shall spread out. His beauty shall be like the olive, and his fragrance like the bun. They shall dwell and return and dwell beneath my shadow. They shall flourish like the grain. They shall blossom like the vine. Their fame shall be like the wine of Lebanon. Ephraim, what have I to do with idols? It is I who answer and look after you. It is like an evergreen cypress. From me comes your fruit. Whoever is wise, let him understand these things. Whoever is discerning, let him know. For the ways of the Lord are right, and the upright walk in them, but transgressors stumble in them. Joel 1-3. The word of the Lord came to Joel, the son of Pethuel. Hear this, ye elders. Give ear, all inhabitants of the land. Has such a thing happened in your days, and the days of your fathers? Tell your children of it, and let your children tell their grandchildren. Tell their children, and their children to another generation. And what the cutting locust had left, the swarming locust has eaten. What the swarming locust left, the hopping locust has eaten. And what the hopping locust had left, the destroying locust has eaten. Awake, you drunkards, and weep. And wail, all you drinkers of wine, because of the sweet wine. For it is cut off from your mouth. For a nation has come up against my land, powerful and beyond number. His teeth are lion's teeth, and he has the fangs of a lioness. He has laid waste my vine and splintered my fig tree. He has stripped off their bark and thrown it down. Their branches are made white. And lament like a virgin wearing sackcloth for the bridegroom of a youth. The grain offering and the drink offering are cut off from the house of the Lord. The priests and the ministers of the Lord. The fields are destroyed, the ground burns, because the grain is destroyed. The wine dries up, and the oil languishes. Be ashamed, O tillers of the soil. Wail, O vine dressers, for the wheat and the barley, because the harvest of the field has perished. The vine dries up, the fig tree languishes, pomegranate, palm, and apple, all the trees of the field are dried up, and gladness dries up from the children of men. Put on sackcloth and lament, O priests. Wail, O ministers of the altar. Go in, pass the night in sackcloth, O ministers of my God, because grain offering and drink offering are withheld from the house of your God. Consecrate a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the elders and all the inhabitants of the land to the house of the Lord your God, and cry unto the Lord. Alas for the day of the Lord is near, and as destruction from the Almighty it comes. Is not the food cut off before our eyes, drawing gladness from the house of our God? The seed shrivels under the clods, the storehouses are desolate, and the granaries are torn down, because the grain is dried up. How the beasts groan, the herds of cattle are perplexed, because there is no pasture for them. Even the flocks of sheep suffer. To you I call, for fire has devoured the pastures of the wilderness, and flame has burned all the trees of the field. Even the beasts of the field pant for you, because the water brooks are dried up, and fire has devoured the pastures of the wilderness. Blow a trumpet in Zion, sound an alarm on my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord is coming, it is near, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and thick darkness. Like blackness they are spread among the nations, upon the mountains. A great and powerful people, their like has never been before, nor will be again after them, through the years and the generations. Fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them the desolate wilderness, and nothing escapes them. Their appearance is like the appearance of horses, and then like horses they run, and as with the rumbling of chariots, they leap on the tops of mountains, and like the crackling of the flame of fire devouring the stubble, like a powerful army drawn up for battle. Before them peoples are in anguish, like all faces grow pale, like warriors they charge, like soldiers they scale the wall, they march each on his way. They do not swerve from their path. They do not jostle one another. Each marches in its path. They burst through the weapons and are not halted. They leap upon the sea. They run upon the walls. They climb up into the houses. They enter through the windows like a thief. The earth quakes before them. The heavens tremble. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. The Lord utters his voice before his army, for his camp is exceedingly great. He executes his word is powerful. For the day of the Lord is great and very awesome. Who can endure it? Yet even now declares the Lord. Return to me with all your heart, with fasting, with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your hearts and not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love, and he relents over judgment. Who knows whether he will not turn over and leave a blessing behind him, a grain offering and a drink offering for the Lord your God. And blow the trumpet in Zion, consecrate a fast, call a solemn assembly, gather the people, consecrate the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, even nursing infants. Let the bridegroom leave his room, and the bride her chamber, between the vestibule and the altar. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep, and say, Spare your people, O Lord, and make not your heritage a reproach, by a byword among the nations. Why should they say among the people, Where is their God? And the Lord became jealous for his land, and had pity on his people. The Lord answered and said to his people, Behold, I am sending to you grain, wine, and oil, and you will be satisfied. And I will no more make you a reproach among the nations. I will remove the northern earth far from you, and drive them into a parched and desolate land, his vanguard into the eastern sea, and his rearguard into the western sea. His stench and foul smell of him will rise. For he has done great things. Fear not, O man, be glad and rejoice. For the Lord has done great things. Fear not, you beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness are green. The tree bears its fruit. The fig tree and the vine give their full yield. Be glad, O children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given the early rain for your vindication. He has poured down for you abundant rain, the early and the latter rain, as before. The threshing floor shall be full of grain. The vats shall overflow with wine and oil. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the hopper, the destroyer, and the cutter, and my great army which I send upon you. Among you, you shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never again be put to shame. You shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and there is none else. And my people shall never again be put to shame. And it shall come to pass after that I will pour out the Spirit, my Spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall see dreams, and your young men shall see visions. Even the male and female servants in those days I will pour out my Spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire, and columns of smoke. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the great and awesome day of the Lord comes. And it shall come to pass that everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem there shall be those who escape, as the Lord has said. And among the survivors shall be those whom the Lord calls. For behold, in those days and at that time, when I restore the fortunes of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather all the nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will enter into judgment with them there, on behalf of my people and my heritage Israel, because they have scattered them among the nations, and I have divided up my land, and have cast lots for my people. And I have traded a boy for a prostitute, and have sold a girl for wine, and they have drunk it. What are you to me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the region of Philistia? Are you paying me back for something? If you are paying me back, I will return your payment on your own head, swiftly and speedily. For you have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried my rich treasures into your temples. You have sold the people of Judah, in Jerusalem into the Greeks in order to remove them far from their own border. Behold, I will stir them up from the place to which you sold them, and I will return your payment on your own head. I will sell your sons and daughters into the hands of the people of Judah, and they will sell them to the Sabaeans, to a nation far away. For the Lord has spoken. Proclaim among the nations. Consecrate for war. Stir up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. And let the weak say, I am a warrior. Hasten and come, all you surrounding nations. And gather yourselves here, there. Bring down your warriors, O Lord. Let the nations stir themselves up, and come into the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. Put in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Go and tread, for the winepress is full. The vats overflow, for the evil is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near, in the valley of decision. The sun and moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. The Lord roars from Zion, and utters his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth quake. But the Lord is a refuge to his people, and a stronghold to the people of Israel. For you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who dwells in Zion, my holy mountain. My Jerusalem shall be holy, and strangers shall never again pass through. And in that day the mountains shall drip sweet wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the stream beds of Judah shall flow with water. And fountains shall come forth from the house of the Lord, and water the valley of Shittim. And Egypt shall become a desolation, and Edom a desolate wilderness, for the violence done to the people of Judah, because they shed innocent blood in their land. And Judah shall be inhabited forever, and Jerusalem to all generations. I will avenge their blood I have not avenged, for the Lord dwells in Zion. Proverbs 31. The words of King Lemuel, an oracle that his mother taught him. What are you doing, my son? What are you doing, son of my womb? What are you doing, son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women, your ways to those who destroy kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, or for rulers to take strong drink, lest they drink and forget what is being decreed, and pervert the rights of all the afflicted. Give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty, and remember their misery no more. Open your mouth for me. Open for the rights of all who are destitute. Open your mouth, judge righteously, defend the rights of the poor and needy. An excellent wife who can find, she is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of grain. She does him good and not harm all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant, who brings her food from afar, who rises while it is still yet night, and provides food for her household, and portions for her maiden. She conceals the field and buys it, and with the fruit of her hand she plants a vineyard, who dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong, who perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff, and her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor, and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, when he sits among the elders of the land. And she makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchant. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband knows her, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her of the fruit of the land of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Psalm 6. O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are troubled. My soul is also greatly troubled. But you, O Lord, how long? Turn, O Lord, deliver my life. Save me from the sake of your steadfast love. For in death there is no remembrance of you. In Sheol who will give you praise? I am weary with my moaning. Every night I flood my bed with tears. I drench my couch with my weeping. My eye wastes away because of grief. It grows weak because of all my foes. Depart from me, all you workers of evil. For the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord has heard my prayer. All my enemies shall be ashamed and greatly troubled. They shall turn back and be put to shame in a moment. Now that's done, I shall now do the Lord's Prayer. Please bow your hands. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as you also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.